Good evening, the great people of Biafra. Good evening, the great people of Africa. I welcome you to the day's broadcast. I wish to touch on so many things that I've been discovering happening around Nigeria. There are many things that is happening around Nigeria. You know, when when we are done having this broadcast, I am going to tell you something. I'm going to give you some small secrets about that contraption called Nigeria and the leaders, the people who call themselves the leaders of that contraption. The reason why I will tell you a secret about that contraption is that we need to use that secret against them. We need to use that secret against the Nigeria government in order to keep winning this media war that we are engaging into. So, I am going to give you a little bit secret of Nigeria. And that secret is the same secret that Mazen Namdekano used behind the microphone to dismantle all the atrocities that they are using in that zoological republic called Nigeria. It's been a while. I haven't been around. The most importantly, I was sick. I had Omicron COVID 19. I had, so I've been under isolation, but I thank God I am actually doing it the way we have to do it, because the most important thing is that we are able to communicate again. Maybe we must start actually with this of COVID 19 in Nigeria, how they're handling it, and then the way Nigeria is just wasting the money they're supposed to use to enable a good society. They are using those money wrongly, because if you look at it, there is a news that I came across. Actually, I saw that news yesterday. I could not make this broadcast because I wasn't feeling okay. So, this news about how Nigeria is planning to destroy 1 million vaccine, 1 million vaccine, but with the taxpayers' money. Before they went to stock this vaccine, they never ever, I don't think that they announced it, or they didn't take permission from you taxpayers, but you make sure you pay your tax all the time. Because people of Nigeria, you guys have been blind. You guys are blind to the extent that you don't even understand what government is doing with your money. You don't even understand where your effort, your money is going, or what they are using your money to do. Even after paying all this money, they have approved $5.8 billion loan. They have approved the president to go and get that loan. They did. Where is that money going? You don't know. No one is there to give account. No one is there to audit of anything. But you call yourself you belong to a country. That is the reason why. Do you know the reason why this news of destroying this COVID 19 vaccine caught my eye? I know that shit happens. I'll put it that way. I know that things like that happens. But the reason why I am lamenting about this one is that Nigeria could have averted it. Nigeria could have averted that waste of 5 million AstraZeneca vaccine. Nigeria, they could, they were in a position to avert this loss, but they did not, because it is not their money. Everything that they want, both the vaccine, both everything, they have already gotten the best. Therefore, the one they have to give to you is the world rejected. The world rejected. And I am going to prove it to you that AstraZeneca vaccine was a vaccine that the world rejected. They actually shifted it down to Nigeria to inject their animals, to inject you their animals. If you know the history of this AstraZeneca when it was manufactured in the institute, in some institute in India, and the part of the first people who ordered or who wanted to use AstraZeneca vaccine were the South African, were South Africa. It was maybe it should be like, yeah, maybe 6 months ago. 6 months or more than 6 months ago. When this vaccine, they started buying, they allowed African people to buy vaccine. South Africa went ahead, they purchased or they procure AstraZeneca vaccine. After the procurement of the AstraZeneca vaccine, the president of South Africa actually went to receive this vaccine in the airport. And they went to their, lab. They took this vaccine, some sample of this vaccine, to check it in their lab. It showed that this vaccine has only, if I am not mistaken, I don't quote me right, you can make your research actually. It does not have up to 70%, not even up to 60% efficacy. Or it does not have 7 up to 60% efficacy, something that will be able to combat the virus in your body. It does not have it. South Africa actually rejected that AstraZeneca. I want you to understand that the reason why I am doing this, the reason why it caught me my eyes is because myself, I am going through what is called COVID-19 Omicron. I know how I feel. It is not a good feeling. It is not a good feeling. It is not a feeling that you want to wish for your enemy, actually. It is not. That is how it is. That's how bad it is. If I happen to have underlying illness, or if I happen to have low immune system, eventually maybe I'll be hospitalized. But that is, by the way, I am actually struggling with it. I am grappling with it, but I know I am going to come out strong. But that is exactly the reason why this issue of destroying 5 million doses of vaccine in Nigeria caught my eyes, because South Africa rejected that AstraZeneca vaccine more than 6 months ago because it does not have, I think, if I am not mistaken, it has maybe, is it 30% or 21% efficacy? It does not have a good percentage of cure or something that will make your immune system get used to fighting the virus. It does not have it. So this vaccine was manufactured by British or by UK. Let me put it in a normal way. UK manufactured this vaccine in Serum Institute of India in India. Then when people bought this vaccine, it had only, I think, 3 months to expire. When South Africa procured this vaccine, I think it has 3 months or 3 months plus to expire prior the purchase or the procurement or the arrival, one of the three. So apparently, they said it is because of the variant that we had in in South Africa. So actually, when South Africa saw that it does not actually help with the variant they had, they rejected it. They rejected it. And when they are rejecting it, Nigeria was buying AstraZeneca. After they have rejected it, Nigeria decided to procure AstraZeneca, believing that what they have during that time, you know, is different from what is going to be in Nigeria when there is no, laboratories who are going to be doing, making sure which one is here, which one is not here. They don't have time for that. They don't have time to check which virus that is killing people in Nigeria. They don't have time. The government, there is no infrastructure for that. There is no provision for that. When they say that they want to start creating vaccine in Nigeria, I am actually shocked because where is the electricity are they going to be using to start manufacturing of vaccine in Nigeria? That is the same reason why I always tell you that this country, the people who govern this country, what they do is that when they come to the media, they talk big. They talk very, very big. And they do very, very small. And the same reason why a very reasonable person will not actually see the people who want to see Nigeria and they are criticizing them, or they're calling them mad, or they're calling them terrorists. Because there is no life. There is no life in Nigeria, actually. There is no life. Believe me, there is no life. The only people that has a life in Nigeria are those people who will be able to fly themselves abroad when they are sick. When it times for taking COVID-19 vaccine, those that believe in it flew themselves abroad to go and procure their own vaccine. They flew themselves to procure the best. But the only thing, what they did for you is that they procured the world rejected for you. Do they care? If you die, that is their benefit and the benefit of their masters. They must procure what was made by their masters. Even though UK made it in the Serum Institute, I know that Nigeria is fully aware that their masters produced it. That is the reason why it was when it arrived in South Africa, but more than 6 months ago. It has 3 months to expire. It had 3 months to expire. South Africa rejected it because they wanted the best for their people. Nigeria accepted it because they want the worst for you. And yet you will find someone in the likes of Airpeace, Allen Onyema, sees everything happening like this, the way insecurity, the way people are dying, he will come to tell you, we must believe in one Nigeria. One Nigeria for 61 years, he never done anybody any good. One Nigeria for 61 years, never done anybody any good. Almost a century. Almost a century. Just 4 decades, it becomes a century. One Nigeria. Never done anybody no good. Is it the same Nigeria that, like, when you look at yourself, you look at the situation of the country prior 1960, prior 1970, after the war ended, You look at your life in Europe, you look at your life outside Nigeria, and you say that you want to come back to that hellfire. I don't think so. I don't think no one in their right mind want to come back to the hellfire called Nigeria. I don't think so. Every reasonable people, every conscious people, anybody who sucked their mother's breast for at least 6 months will be reasonable enough to know that it is not worth it to risk it in hellfire called Nigeria. Mazen Nnamdi Kanu rose up after seeing all these atrocities, evil that is befalling people in Nigeria. He could have a better life. He studied economics. He could even context exactly what people are contesting in the world. He will win, definitely. He is very, very intelligent. But he chose not to. He can he chose not to. He chose to advocate for the freedom of the whole people in Nigeria, because when he looked at himself, he looked at his color, he looked at the world, he discovered that black people are oppressed. And he discovered that charity begins from home. If he does not start it from home, it means he's not going to make it so far. He started from home to liberate his few people. When he liberates his people will help him to liberate the mankind, will help him to liberate all Africans across the world and all oppressed across the world. That was his mandate and that was his wish. That is still his wish. Sorry. Before his incarceration, even during his incarceration, even as I am speaking to you right now, it is still his wish. Even though he is isolated, given all form of evil treatment. I saw channel television saying that Mazen Nnamdi Kanu confirmed himself that he was not being maltreated in the DSS dungeon. That is Yoruba media. That he said it himself. They are they don't investigate their news. These people, once they hear they say, they report it immediately. And that is the reason why the US, there is this lady, the US envoy or the US what for in Nigeria. There is this lady. I spoke about her long time ago, during when the time Afghanistan was taken over by the terrorists. So that is the reason why when she was talking about media houses with brown envelope, or the who are those journalists with brown for that go for brown envelope. That is exactly the reason why she is talking about such things, because media houses, when they just hear they say, they report it to the public immediately without conducting their investigation. That is very unprofessional. That is to show you that there is nothing professional about Nigeria. There is nothing professional happening in Nigeria. The only way that it is you are going to survive in that contraption. The only way is to run away from that contraption. But at the end of it, running away is not solving the problem. It is prolonging the problem. They always tell you if you cannot beat them, you join them. That is a fallacy. That is a fallacy. If you know what you want, if you believe in what you want, if you believe in your cause, you will never join them, no matter, even if you cannot beat them. You can never join them. If they had said, if you cannot beat them, you pretend to join them. It makes more sense. These are the type of things that people they use, or people of old who were colonized, the type of fear they instill in you. These fears colonize you into mental slavery. These fears they have instilled in you, a word that we use in everyday life. Those proverbs that we use in everyday life. If you do not understand it, it can place you onto a mental slavery, which you will find our people almost 85 or 95% of our black counterpart all over the world are into mental slavery. And it takes only decolonization, consciousness awoken. If their consciousness cannot kickstart, there is no way they are going to come out of their ignorance. That is the reason why you find many people today telling you Nigeria is going to work. In a context of have faith, which the religion, mental slavers use every day. The religious mental slavers use every day without understanding the concept, or without understanding exactly what faith is all about. That's where they will get you to. Have faith. Nigeria will be better. Have faith. It will be okay. Have faith. We are brother in Nigeria. We are broad. We must take over. Making such sentiment, you want to take over the business, in the market, you want to take over in everything. And even though when they tell you that you are all over the place, people in the likes of Hope Uzodinma, the rest of Nigeria tells you that you are all over the place, you want to dominate. They tell you you want to dominate them, but people in the likes of Hope Uzodinma is telling you in a public domain, let us utilize this Nigeria that we are into. He is empowering the youth to make sure they believe in this Nigeria, so that we can take over market, we can take over everything. That is the problem. That is the problem. There is there is nothing you can take over. There is nothing you will ever take over. The only thing that you will take over is making your people run away from this economy, making your people run away from this contraption, looking for life in any way they can, survival of the fittest, making people crossing Mediterranean Sea, making people carrying all sorts of illegal substances, traveling to where they will be killed, traveling to where they will be jailed, making people to do all sorts of illegal things just to survive. That is, a lot of our youth are in prison all over the world. Do you know why? Because of this economy that you find yourself into in Nigeria. It is because of this hellfire that you find yourself into. This hellfire was created in 1914 during the very, very evil amalgamation, bringing different set of derogatories, bringing them together, believing that they will find a way to unite, or they will kill themselves while you are busy exploiting their economy. This is exactly what they have been doing. That is the reason why this government will go out there to procure a vaccine that is already close to expiration, very close. Maybe they negotiated. It does not matter. Even if it is expired, we can actually administer it maybe 3 months even after expiration. And that is probably what happened or what has been happening. Because that vaccine that I know that South Africa procured, it was 3 months to expire on arrival. 3 months to expire on arrival. So if it was being bought by Nigeria eventually, or what exactly was their plan? To give you a rejected ones instead of procuring the ones people are buying, which is J&J, which is Johnson and Johnson, or the other one. So they did not. They insisted on AstraZeneca. Is it that same AstraZeneca that they had that is going to, give you the immunity to fight Omicron, Delta variant, Beta variant? People are traveling up and down. Does it mean that those people, those variants did not come there, never made its way there, or there is no laboratory to discover them? What exactly is that? And this AstraZeneca that does not have up to 21% efficacy on other variants is going to help the people of Nigeria. Is it the same thing that is going to help you? I am not a fan of those. I am just lamenting because I am just lamenting because they are going to be forcing you to be taking this vaccine at some point. If not, if they haven't started already, are you sure of what you are taking? They have flew themselves abroad, took the best. What is it that they are giving you down there? If they are going to destroy, let actually read that. Let me read the report. Okay, it was 1 million. 1 million expired AstraZeneca vaccine said to be destroyed. NPHCDA. Nigeria is set to destroy 1 million AstraZeneca vaccine in line with environmental protocols. This is according to the Executive Director of National Primary Care Development, Healthcare Development Agency, Faisal Shuaib. Dr. Faisal, at a briefing of the Presidential Steering Committee, insisted that no expired vaccine has been utilized in the country. Why is he insisting? What exactly were the vaccine that people were getting? The shot that people have been getting. If you know you've been getting AstraZeneca all this while in the past, actually in the past 3 months or in the past 4 months, you must know that you've been receiving the jab that is expired. Because when it arrived in South Africa, it has only 3 months. It had only 3 months. So that is, by the way, did all those ones who call themselves the president, the leaders, the elite, who are advising you to take those jabs, I want to know which one did they take themselves? So I continue. The NPHCDA boss also stated that at the briefing that 7.889 million eligible persons have received the first dose, while 3.9 million eligible persons have received the first dose. The first dose. Oh, sorry, the full dose. He further revealed that only 496 Nigerians have received the booster dose. So, among this 7.89 million, how many of them received AstraZeneca in the last 3 months? So, if they come to tell you if you have received AstraZeneca in the last 3 months and you are in Nigeria, you should understand that you have received a vaccine that is expired. Because when they come to deny that they have not administered expired vaccine, they are lying. They are lying. You know, these people you call your leaders in Nigeria, they don't give a damn. They don't give a damn. That is the reason why during the time of this COVID-19, the palliatives that was given to them to share to you, they hid it in their warehouses. Some will give an excuse or they will argue that the reason why they did not give you those palliatives is because they want to give you on their birthday, but it was made for COVID. You know, when you listen to all this shit coming from this contraption, you will understand that Mazen Namdekano is the Jesus Christ that you know today. Because I know that many of you believe that Jesus Christ is a Holy Spirit, or he will always come like a Holy Spirit. He previously came like a man. That is the reason why he is called the Son of Man. The Son of Man. For those of you who believe that he is coming like, you know, I know that so many of you still believe in the theory that Mary conceived without being touched by a man. Those theories are the things that kept you under mental slavery up until today. And you will never ever understand it except if you have consciousness that is awakened. If your consciousness wakes up, that's the only time you will begin to understand all this metaphor that was used to translate the Bible to mental slavery, to make you to be wallowing in your ignorance all your life. The same reason why you go to church, you become sick. Instead of going hospital, you are praying in church. All those things that you see happening to you, do you know the reason why? That is mental slavery. How many years ago did people start, begging a black man to emancipate from mental slavery? And you can only do that if you want to. No one, my word, will never force you to emancipate from mental slavery. That is the reason why Bob Marley sang years ago, emancipate yourself from the mental slavery, and nobody can free your mind but you. It is only you. It is only when you let it in, then you will be able to understand me. As long as you are not mentally decolonized, you will never understand the type of preaching or the type of gospel that I speak to you. Likewise, those you will never understand the gospel of Mazen Namdekano. You need to emancipate yourself from the mental slavery, because that is the reason why you do not ask questions. It is made in UK. This is the best. It is made in Holland. This is the best. That pig milk is made in Nigeria is not good. You see? Or it is made in South Africa is not good. It's South Africa. Mental slavery. You need to emancipate yourself from mental slavery. And nobody is going to do that for you except you. You need to begin to wake up, take time and research about whom you are. Research, ask questions, read books. There are many of them that is still out there in the public domain. Read down from Egypt. Those Egyptian books, read them. If you don't understand, inbox me, I will tell you. Because a lot of them is covered in metaphor that you will never decode until you are decolonized. That is the reason why you find stupid men, stupid idiots. They will go to social media telling you Mazen Namdekano did them this. Mazen Namdekano made is fighting for Biafra because he is selfish. He want to embezzle all this or all that. That is very, very common with people who are still mentally blind, who do not reason, who does not have anything in their brains. They don't ask questions. They always accept it. If you cannot beat them, what can I do? We join them. All those words is the reason why you cannot stand up to ask this government a question. Why did you procure AstraZeneca vaccine knowing that the time frame is very short to expiration? Why did you procure it? And now you're destroying it. But you are going to take a loan of $5.8 billion to use for what? It is been approved. You see what China is doing to countries that are not coming up with their agreement. You think Nigeria will be exception? That is the reason why Biafra must come in our time. That is the reason why if you are a true Oduduwa and you are genuinely fighting for your freedom, you must make it come during your time. During your time. This fourth generation. During the time of this fourth generation, you must make it come now. You know why? Because tomorrow will be very bad and it might be too late. It might be too late. If you call yourself Oduduwa, you do not like the preaching of Sunday Boho, you are mentally enslaved. You are mentally enslaved. You are consciously asleep. Your consciousness is fast asleep, if not pass out. Your consciousness is no longer there. You need to dig deep to discover it one more time. Because you do not understand that Jesus said he did not come. He will not come for the second time to make peace. He will come second time to turn a mother against a son, to turn husband against a wife. And that is exactly what is going on today. So for those of you who say Mazen Namdekano is insulting people, you must understand the time that of reckoning. You will never find someone who will beg you to repent. You will never find a preaching who will tell you, repent, the kingdom of God is coming soon. You will not. Because those who are who were genuinely giving it to you don't even recognize them. You don't even value them. You see them as nothing. Those who tell you the truth. You should always understand that truth has a very, very, very minimal speed of expanding. It has the minimal speed of expansion. The truth has minimal speed of digesting. But when you talk a lie, it has the maximum speed of exploring. But the truth does not have fans. It does not have friends. It does not have, you know, lovers. It has very, very few people who follows it. Very, very minimal people follows the truth. That is the reason why in that big contraption, more than 2 million people, you've been deceived in the past 61 years. One man rose up to condemn all this deceit, to make sure that you become free. Like that person in America who rose up to condemn George Floyd murder with confidence, to make sure you are free, like those who were criticizing Donald Trump, and he never killed them. They are free, speaking it even inside America, outside America. But they are telling you that they are recruiting those two to sell out a fulefus to go to be in the airport to point at the people who are championing IPOB or secession movement. Those idiots who does not know exactly who is their parent, who does not even know when things are changing. Those, if you cannot beat them, you join them. Those, let's be on a winning team. The winning team is surely going to destroy you because you will never ever recognize winning when you find it. Some of you say you know history, you teach history, but you do not know your own history. You teach history, but you do not know whom you are. You teach history, you as a lion of tribe of Judah, the bloodline of Jesus Christ. That is the reason why you wear the regalian Afishago. You wear that Afishago. That is the reason why you wear it, because that signifies where you are from, your tribe. You look at yourself, you look at the Nigeria, how it is governed, you look at a captivity, a people, you look like at a subject of Britain, bought 850,000 pounds as a Royal Niger company. Have you ever seen a lion being like an antelope in a jungle? Okujiago, Mbadabeli Ogwo. That is what it is. Have you ever seen an antelope becoming the king of the jungle? That is exactly what is going on. That is exactly what is happening. When you look at yourself, you say people who are followers of Mazen Namdekano, they must die in the hands of the Egyptians, in the hands of the enemy. Your people, your people, they are not Fulani, they are not Hausa, they are not British, but your people whom you speak the same language with are the same people you want to be pointing at them because you had misunderstanding with their what they are doing, or because you do not have the consciousness to understand what they are doing. You decide to start sabotaging them and putting their lives in danger. You will die like a coward because Chukwokikabiama does not spare a sellout, the household enemy. If you are not a household enemy, that is, you will never pick you to pinpoint people who are IPOB supporters or Biafra movement supporters. You are a coward and you will fall like a coward. Those people whom you are going to be pointing that will die in the hands of Nigeria government, maybe you will actually fall before them. Because what this struggle is more spiritual than physical. It is more spiritual than physical. When we talk about it being more spiritual than physical, you will understand that this is like a DNA. I am not talking about spirit that it is the angels that are fighting it. This is like a DNA that you will never erase until it discovers its origin or its root. We are the Son of Man. We are the God in this world. After the God of the greatest of them, we are the God in this world. And that is the reason why you are oppressed, you are mentally enslaved, you are destroyed, you are, subjected, you are exploited. Because if they let you lose, if they give you freedom, what you are going to achieve, they are so scared that they don't have a choice but to kneel down before you. They will not have a choice but to acknowledge you for whom you are. And that is their biggest fear, to acknowledge you as a black man for whom you are. That is their biggest fear. The only place where they feel happy is when they see you as a black man kill one another. Don't ever wake your consciousness. Make sure that your brother is your problem. Make sure that your sister is your problem. Make sure that color of your skin is your problem. That is what you are subjected to do. And this is the reason why you can never ever achieve freedom except you emancipate yourself from mental slavery. This mental slavery is that ignorant that stinks. Ignorant, it stinks, and they see it as my ego, my ego. The secret about Nigeria is that they have certain status that they want to always maintain. That status they always want to maintain is what you need to use against them. And that is the reason why Mazen Namdekano went behind the microphone. And that is the biggest weapon you are going to use against them, is exposition of their atrocities. That is their biggest weapon. Like I told you, that Mazen Namdekano is going to come out from that DSS dungeon very soon. Do you know why? And when I heard Barrister Ifeanyi Ejiofor he said in his last interview, I think on the 7th of December, the 7th of December, that there will be no trial. He will be released unconditionally. That's when I noticed that that barrister knows what he is doing. You know, that is when some people say that when we say it is more spiritual than physical. That was when I realized that this guy knows what he is doing. Do you know why he says that there will be no trial, but there will be unconditional release? There is something they say that through the smell or of a fart, you can imagine how the shit is going to taste. You could see all these IPOBs, all these IPOBs that was arrested unlawfully, just like the ones in Enugu a few days ago. You could see how they are being discharged and acquitted of all the crime. But the worst part of it is that their time was wasted without any compensation. That is the worst part of it. They are common men. Once you are discharged and acquitted, that is your prayer. You know, that is the prayer of anybody that is imprisoned in the zoo. Because you are not aware that you could get, compensated for the time you have wasted in there. Dude, you did nothing. How many of you will be able to sue the federal government except the governor? Because they have the resources. You cannot. They just take you in, waste your time. After wasting your time, they will be okay. Why would they take you in without having enough evidence to nail you? That's what they're doing. Just wasting your time. You do not realize that a year wasted in a man's life worth a lot. You could win a lot. You could win, $100 million. That is how much 1 year is worth. Because you can use a twinkle of an eye to become a millionaire. That is how much 1 year worth in people's life. But they will take you for 5 years, 10 years. It will come to the media. They will report in the media. They are released, discharged, and acquitted. And you clap. Yay, we won. You lose. Nigeria government is screwing you in the most sensitive place. That's the time. They are playing with your time. If you look at all these people, they are youth. Why can't all the youth in Nigeria stand up and condemn what is going on? You are waiting for youth only in the East to sit at home. Their economy is deteriorating. Everything, their livelihood is being touched. The military is there oppressing them. If Nigeria youth, both the youth from the north, want to help themselves, You must come out in your numbers. You must come out when the north is coming out, the south will be joining, the west will be joining, every place will be joining. You know, enough is enough. Enough of these things that is happening all over the place. I see the northern people are actually calling, condemning the killing in the north. But when Mazen Namdi Kano was lamenting, they are coming. Boko Haram was already there. You did not realize that Boko Haram is a killer. You did not realize that Boko Haram has a conquest to accomplish. When Mazen Namdi Kano started lamenting that Fulani headsmen are killing the indigenous people, you saw it as he's a Igbo man. He will rant, rant, rant. They give him money. He will go and rest, because that's what you see Igbo man for. Once they rant, you give them money. But you do not know that from that same people you undermine, we are the root of that same Christ that you've been praying to. The Son of Man, you will not understand, because you are mentally enslaved. You know religion, you know Christianity, but you do not know God. That is the reason why at the last day it will say, you will hear this word that you use every day. Peter, I know. Barnabas, I don't know. Who are you? That is the word that you might be hearing on those days. If you do not rise up, coming from the north, send down to the south, southeast, so-called south-south, so-called southwest, if you do not come together as one, the indigenous people of Nigeria, as one, to condemn atrocities of these people. You know, all this news that they are bringing to you, they are all false. When they tell you that Gumi's sister-in-law, or Gumi's who was kidnapped by bandits, or they tell you that Sultan of Sokoto jumped the window when they invaded the mosque, who confirmed the incidents? They staged these incidents to tell the world that this is not religious war that they are fighting. That, they staged all this news to tell the world different. They want to give the world misreaction or misemotion. They want to confuse the world. They want to deceive, the aims of justice in Nigeria. They want to deceive the world. They will tell you Sultan of Sokoto, because you know that we have burst his bubbles. The IPOB media warriors, he's been busting his bubbles. That is the reason why they don't have a choice than to stage that Sultan of Sokoto jumped through the window when the bandits invaded the mosque. All rubbish. All rubbish. It's like now we will say that Mazen Namdi Kano is released and he's in a church praying. He is in a church praying in his village, and the IPOB members came to church or come into church. Mazen Namdi Kano will jump the window. One problem about all these people you see they don't take responsibility for their their actions. They will never take a responsibility for their action. They stage drama all the time. Stage drama all the time. You might not understand it because you are mentally slaved. You are mentally enslaved. That is the reason why you will not understand the reason why they will tell you Sultan of Sokoto jumped through the window when the bandits came to the mosque. And you believe it. You need to go to a doctor. You need to go see a psychiatrist because there is no such. I gave you an example of Mazen Namdekano in church and IPOBs. They come into the church and you say Mazen Namdekano will jump through the window. That is how it is. Sultan of Sokoto and bandits. Fulani and the Fulani. You know, Fulani plus Fulani. All of you in the north that you have seen all these atrocities happening all over the place. You can start it like this, but your problem is that you guys are too scared. That is the reason why you find the one called elder statesman in the north. Every time their problem is Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. That is the reason why you find this particular set of people. Every problem they have in the north is Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. Their problem is not the people who are killing you as innocent common men, as naive common people. They don't inform you how many of you are dying in the day. It is only when it comes to your community, then you will hear the news. Most of you don't even have access to social media. You live this type of Sharia life you have encaved yourself with. That is the reason why some of you do not have access to information. Because they just like they have invaded houses. They want to make sure that they take over the whole communities and convert houses to their puppets. If you don't come out and begin to support what the South is doing, believing that you are the North or you are Islamic or religious people that you cannot never accept with the initiative or the cause of an Igbo man, because he's an infidel. That's what they've been preaching to you all these years. And you would not know that these people that are carrying guns, killing people in your bushes, in your communities, they are no longer human beings like you anymore. These people were reformed through this religious teaching, the process, the same way that many of our people, our youth, our parents has been reformed under Christianity. That they don't know their left from their right. That is mental slavery. They have reformed you, tell you the only way you can succeed or make it to heaven is when you carry a gun and kill an infidel. They tell you this all your life. Imagine that. How they mentally slave you. Most of you, they will tell you, if you do this, you die, you go to hellfire. If you do that, you die, you go to hellfire. Right from a very childhood. Everything that you want to do, they tell you if someone slap you here, turn there because you don't want to go to hellfire. You know, quoting Bible out of context. Then you will want to be a good man. The government is slapping you. Hey, slap me this side. They give you this side, you say this side. They give you, you say that side. That is until they ravage your generation. They take your generation of existence. That is maybe when you are going to realize that I need to change, or I need to go out there without fear or favor of anything to fight for your people and to fight for your community. Lifting paper up like this, Nigeria does not understand those things. Lifting papers up, they do not understand it. Having few of you, how many of you are here? How many people is gone? How many people are going to die tonight? How many people are going to die tomorrow? And you believe just lifting peppers up like this is going to solve your insecurity in the north. You guys must stop fooling yourself. If you want to do this, come together. You must come together. If you do not save yourself while others are saving themselves right now, like the Oduduwas are fighting to save themselves, that is the reason why they are not being ravaged. If they do not take the step that Mazen Nnamdi Kanu took to defend their land, you will find them grappling with the same 10 was killed, communities was moved, 1.5 million IDPs in Benue State. All this bad news every day. You will not be a partaker of this bad news. But because you have chosen to be ignorant, because you have chosen not to understand that Mazen Namde Kanu is fighting a just cause. That is the reason why you are not making any plan to save yourself. That is the reason why you are not making any plans to save yourself. Because the only plan you will make to save yourself is that Igbo man, Mazen Namde Kanu, or that Biafran man, Mazen Namde Kanu. Why must we follow their lead? Why must it be him? Jealousy. Out of jealousy caused by ignorance. Mentally slave. Why must you champion his cause? You will be dying because you have refused to champion his cause. Some of you who are religiously carried away, why must we listen to that infidel? Because that is what they will be instilling, planting in you every day until you forget thinking like a human being anymore. That is how it is. You see, for you to be saved from this colonization, which North is already, is already surrounded. When they blow the whistle, if you will not start cover, if you are a woman, you don't start wearing bruke, or what do you call what they put, you will, that is when you will know this is happening. When they are ready, when they roll this in out, when we talk about colonization, just because of the drama, the shenanigan that you see playing out. Sultan of Sokoto jammed the window. Gumi's whoever, friend or family member, was kidnapped by bandits. Today, Gumi is now giving you a solution to solve the bandit, or to give the bandit what they are looking for. Gumi is giving you a solution to give the bandit what they are looking for. The bandits who are killing people. Bandits who are killing people every day by day. Gumi is the one telling you what to do to solve them, to negotiate with them. Nigeria who negotiate with terrorists. Go and ask Israelis how to fight against terrorism. And go and ask Israel, Russia, what terrorism looks like. Because they are fighting it on their walls, on four corners of their walls every day. Hamas is there, Hezbollah is there, a lot of them, So You are there romancing your terrorists, negotiating with them, promising them to give them uh, military uniform to officialize them, for them to have immunity, so that they will be the better terrorist, or official terrorist. If you see what is going on, is it Hezbollah and Hamas, their their military wing and their or is it government or political wings, they were not seen as terrorists. That is the time, but now the whole Europeans have labeled them terrorists. Both their military wings, their whatever wings, political wings, as a terrorist. That is exactly what is going to happen to Nigeria. There is something you must understand, that you might find Buhari going up and down, going to meeting education summit, they going to United Nations summit, this summit, what summit, does not mean that they are not following his case. That is one thing you must understand. Because there is a principle a white man laid, that they will never go against that principle. Just like that, woefully. Once you cross the line, Nigeria have crossed every lines. All these things you see is a process. You will wake up one day to see that Nigeria, both their Boko Haram, bandits, Nigeria's politicians, they are all terrorists. That is what you are going to wake up to hear one day. Because you believe that the world will see them putting terrorists in a military uniform, sending them to the south to go and kill people, since the south have eradicated banditries, the terrorists out of uniform, that Nigeria now government, who is the leader of this terrorist, now start giving them uniform to go on the street, go to communities, since they know that ESN fighting terrorism is fighting them in the bush. They use the opportunity to go into the communities, killing them just like the way bandit is killing people in the north. With the help of the likes of Hope Uzodinma, Dave Umahi, those evil people who are out there like a blood-sucking demons, vultures, to kill their people. And they call themselves the heroes. I'm the man. When Dave Umahi look at himself, he call himself, I'm the man. When Hope Uzodinma, you look at yourself, you call yourself, I'm the man. Because you are killing your people who never voted for you. Just because they never voted you in, Supreme Court voted you in, therefore you must kill them. With the same help of the Supreme Court who placed you there. By bringing the bandits in uniform to fulfill the conquest that their ancestors put in place many years ago. Colonization. And now the militaries are now planting explosive devices places in Biafra land. Planting explosives in places in Biafra land. And you telling me these are military. There are many things that you need to rise up to ask questions, to say, is this really worth it to be scared of anymore? Is it still worth it to claim that we are protecting ourselves, scared when we will be cut down like an animal at any time, at any point in time. And you look at yourself in a mirror, you say, it is worth it to be scared, to die like a coward instead of dying like a hero. It is only through revolution. It is only through revolution. Any African countries in this continent of Africa who wants to emancipate from themselves from the mental slavery must go through a revolution. It is a process. It is a process that you will never ever not consider when you are fighting for the emancipation of your people. It is a process. So, in this process, when we are talking about this process, you must realize that this process cannot be achieved if you want to take part. But the process that is that is going to be achieved, regardless of what the enemy is doing, this enemy called Britain and Nigeria, regardless of what they are doing, regardless of the sabotage, is the actualization of Biafra. But the freedom of the indigenous people of Nigeria, if you want it to happen, you must have a revolution. You must call for a revolution. There is no new levels in life without a revolution. There is no migration, there is no integration without a revolution. That is the reason why industry, to have fourth industrial revolution, trying to radically change your ways of approach, radically trying to transform your response, trying to transform your response towards the things that happens in the country which you call yourself a citizen. Or maybe you are the third class or citizen. You don't have anything, you cannot say anything. If you say, they will rip it off the citizenship. Therefore, I have to keep quiet. That is second and third class citizens. If there is third, they will rip you off your citizenship when you when you complain or when you lament about the atrocities being done against you. For you to understand your solution, for you to find a solution to your problem, those in the north, you must join the movement of the people. You must join the movement of the people. If you do not join what is going on, the movement of the people, you are going to be falling. You are going to be falling community by community, one by one, without anybody, you know, talking about you or remembering you. They bury you just like a piece of garbage, because that's what they do to you guys. Once you fall, they bury you like a piece of garbage in a shallow grave. and you are everything about you is gone. That is the reason why you should join the movement of the people. You must join the movement of the people if you want to win this battle of terrorism attack in the north. Otherwise, you are going nowhere. Otherwise, you are playing games lifting white and is it pink or page with papers on the air. It is not going to help. It is not going to help. Believe you me, it is not going to help. When they take Castena people are coming out to protest, Yobe people should join. Every other region should join. You cannot say few people in Castena, they came to say enough is enough. When you are going home like this, they are going to swallow you up. No one will see to report about you anymore. You are a common man anyway. There will be no a brown envelope will be passed. No one must report anything about those who were lifting white papers yesterday, because that's what they do. They said no more bloodshed protest held in Castena. Some concerned Nigeria in Castena state have taken to the street on a peaceful protest in what they term the deteriorating security situation in the country. The peaceful protest was tagged "No More Bloodshed". The protest, led by a woman, Jamila Abbas, and Bashir Dauda, condemned the proposed turbaning ceremony of President Buhari's son, in Daura, describing it as unfortunate and insensitive to the plight of the masses in the face of the resurgency of killings. Are you paying attention? Buhari's son is going to, they condemn the turbaning ceremony. I don't know what that means. Of president's son. He is going to Daura where people are being killed to celebrate his so-called turbaning ceremony. They described it as unfortunate, insensitive to the plight of the masses because people are dying. And apparently, these people that are dying, they are common men. This is Buhari's son. You know, the people who are initiating the Fulanization, the son. So that is the reason why they say they are seeing it as an insensitive to the plight of the masses in the face of this resurgence of killings and called for the immediate suspension of the ceremony. The peaceful demonstration by the concerned Nigeria in Castena is to register and protest against the insurgency of insecurity in the north, Nigeria, and the country at large. The protest, led by a woman, Jamila Abbas, and Bashir Dauda, defiled in early morning Hamatan cold and gathered at the popular Emi of Castena roundabout to express their concern under the watchful eyes of the security personnel. No, none of them will be killed because they are not Biafrans. Though they were not allowed to carry out the protest initially due to the claim of not obtaining certified permission from the police, the group said they had already sorted for and got the approval of the Inspector General of Police Akali Ababa. They called on the government to rule out any possible re renegotiation with the terrorists or whatsoever, as it has never yielded any positive result. Rather, the insurgency of attack and killings. They are also calling on the government to redouble effort to fish out both the killers of Sokoto travelers and recently the Commissioner for Science, Technology and Innovation, Dr. Rabe Nasir, saying their hideouts are well known. Their hideouts are well known. Who is going to now go to do to make them to run away or to kill them? Is it the same people that is hiring them or the same people that is sponsoring them are going to come for your aid? A question. They have negotiated. Ever since they have negotiated, nothing happened. And this negotiation was taking Fulanis, giving them a military uniform. That and they called them repented bandits. These were the negotiation that the Fulani, the Nigeria government went to do with the terrorists. But for one day, they have never negotiated with people who believe in self-determination. What does that tell you? Crime in Nigeria is allowed, human right is not. What is called crime is allowed in Nigeria, but human right in Nigeria is not allowed. That is the reason why they will negotiate with terrorists. They are going to kill the secessionists. Can you connect the dots? They killed the secessionists, people who want to, because of marginalization, inhuman treatment, you know, hate of, you know, they decided to leave you guys alone to love yourself since you only know how to love yourself, not others. To know how to just love yourself, and they will go and manage themselves in their own way. They become criminals. That they were killed in Mpo, they were killed in Asaba, they were killed in Olo, among others. They are still being killed in Imo State with their help of Hope Uzodinma. They are killing these people. They are killing these people just because they have an ideology to help themselves to stop crossing Mediterranean Sea to get to Europe, to help their children, their youth to stop carrying drugs, going to places where they are going to be killed, to help the youth to stop believing it's only in cybercrime that you will make it in life. There are many things. What will I name and leave others? This same ideology is the ideology that the people whom it affected the most, which are the Biafrans, they heard the preaching, they decided to join. That is the reason why Mazen Namdekano have millions of fans all over the world. That is the reason why the ideology of Mazen Namdekano pull crowd all over the world. Because that ideology is the only thing that can emancipate a black man from mental slavery. That ideology is ideology that will be able to change the narrative of Africa. That is the same ideology that Nigeria called a terrorist. Ideology that Nigeria called a terrorist, the giant of Africa. They called it terrorism. Killing people. Nigeria claimed that they are sending military to go and defend people in Biafra land, but they sent military to go and be official terrorists, killing people anywhere, up and down, like it's happening in Imo State. It is very bad. Media houses will not, put that energy that they will use to tell you that those criminals that was warned yesterday about using the name of IPOB ESN to commit crime, those government mercenaries, they are no longer going to continue anymore. They are doing that to sabotage the ESN and the good work they are doing in Biafra land. Because they know that they are not fighting terrorists in the north. They are romancing and sponsoring terrorists in the north. The people who were serious, Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, just behind the microphone in Europe, call for people to defend themselves. They fought terrorists and they are winning. But Nigeria as a whole giant of Africa, could not fight one terrorist, Boko Haram, until it be boiled down to four different terrorists. Al Qaeda's in Maghreb, ISIS in West Africa, Fulanese, bandit, ISWAP. Or maybe, you know, they cannot fight one until it boils down to three or four. They keep giving birth to one another. So that's because they want to keep a reputation, a certain state in the whole world to see. That is the reason why when Mazen Nnamdi Kanu was winning against this terrorism, raping and killing of farmers and the people, helpless people in the communities in Biafra land in the east and in the south, he decided to make people to stand up to defend themselves. And they did it, it worked for them. Nigeria became jealous. That is the reason why you find Mazen Nnamdi Kanu being maltreated in the DSS dungeon. That is the reason why Nigeria could move swiftly to go and pinpoint Mazen Nnamdi Kanu from Nigeria all the way to Kenya. Actually, they kidnapped him, hijacked him, they abducted him. They packaged him to Nigeria through an extraordinary rendition. But they could not stop Boko Haram within Nigeria territory. But yet they want to maintain some certain state. When you see him, you call him, the white people call him Alaja. His head, he will be like this. Or His Excellency, sir, because a white man is calling you His Excellency, sir. Your head becomes big. You will be telling your children, when I got to Europe, the white people were carrying my bags, calling me His Excellency, sir. That is ignorantly what you are going to brag about. because you are still enslaved mentally, but yet you want to lead people. That is the reason why the Bible say in the book of Matthew that these are blind people. Blind that leadeth a blind, they will only lead you into a ditch, your destruction. That is the only place they are going to lead you into. Destruction, nothing else. That was the metaphor. That is the metaphor. So, if you people in Nigeria want to help yourselves, you guys know what to do. Like a white man in Europe say, Nigeria know what to do. Nigerians knows what to do, except if they don't want to do it. They know what to do. Only when they want to do it, they will do it. And that is nothing but to call for a revolution. That is nothing but to call for a revolution. There are many news headlines all the time in Nigeria. Before we go into the last visit of Barrister Ifeanyi Ejiofor to and the legal counsel to the leader of indigenous people of Biafra, Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, let me touch on this as well. Okay, there is this news I was going through. UK government to remove Nigeria 10 other from the red list. Listen very, very attentively. Share this video. If you are watching me, share this video and enlighten others. UK government to remove Nigeria and 10 other countries from red list. The UK government is expected to remove Nigeria and 10 other countries it had placed on a red list, easing travel restriction. Angola, Botswana, Eswatini, Lesotho, Malawi, Mozambique, Namibia, Nigeria, South Africa, Zambia, and Zimbabwe were initially placed in the list. The red list was reintroduced in late November as precaution after the emergence of the Omicron variant, but the minister have cited the further spread of the variant as a reason for reviewing the travel rules. Currently, all UK's arrivals from the red list countries must pay for and self-isolate in a pre-booked government-approved hotel for 10 days. They must they must also take COVID test within 48 hours of setting off for the UK and PCR test within 2 days of their arrival. So, if they remove you, they are going to remove you and 10 other countries, mostly in the SADC region, from the red list. Why wouldn't they remove you from the red list? Because they are also going into maybe, is it level 4 lockdown? You know, the Omicron is wreaking havoc in the United Kingdom. And now they have discovered that Omicron did not come from Africa. It is not formed in Africa. Rather, it came from Europe. Because all this while, the Europe and America, they were in summer season. There was nothing like Omicron. When they moved into winter season, that is exactly when we started hearing about this Omicron. No variant. UK, Europe is rising in cases. They are going on, they're taking precaution. They are going on booster shots, this and that. Even though all their lies about all this vaccine, this one, that one, they always find a way. They say it's helping, one dose from this, one dose from that. Now, 3 dose booster shot. Soon it will be every day. It has even boiled down to children. So all these things you don't know where to, what to know. You don't know what to follow anymore. You see? So their conspiracy is higher than the conspiracy you find in Africa, actually, because they are actually disgracing themselves. But most of us are mentally slave. They cannot understand. But that will be a topic for another day. That will be a topic for another day. They have they are removing you from the red list because now they might be going into level 4 lockdown. They will remove you from their red list. The Omicron is not coming from Africa. It is not coming from Africa. You see, that is a result of when you lament, when you fight against your problem. That is a result you get. When you air your problems, you get this result. People started talking against it, started, condemning all this red flag, this and that. This country is a high risk. When they are the high risk, just to make your economy go low and low and lower. Those who depend on tourism, they as part of their economy boost, you will be losing that money. That is it. But I am so happy that a lot of our people in Africa are waking up. We should not no longer let the sleeping dog lie. The sleeping dog need to wake up and show exactly its breed. Show us what you are. We've been preaching let the sleeping dog lie. We do not want those sleeping dog to lie. Actually, the sleeping lions. You need to wake up. It is time to wake up. This is the fourth generation. You need to wake up. There is a news that came out of Channels TV. Let me just go through that news so that you will understand. Nnamdi Kanu, not maltreated, enjoy full luxury in the custody of the DSS. This is Channels TV. This news was released on the 14th of December 2021, 14th of November, December 2021. I read it for you. The Department of State Service (DSS) has faulted the allegation that it has denied the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra (IPOB) Nnamdi Kanu of his fundamental right. Sorry for that. Of his fundamental right, or fundamental human right, rather. DSS spokesperson Dr. Peter Ifunanya told the reporter they use the DSS spokesperson Dr. Peter Ifunanya is probably a Biafran. That's why they place him in the forefront so that when you hear the news, they will say he's a Biafran person, he's Igbo person. He is the one saying the news. Therefore, the news is authentic. Like they tell you, Sultan of Sokoto jumped through the window. A briefing on Tuesday in Abuja that the service did not in any way maltreat Kanu, who is in its custody, while stated that while they would not have responded to the claims, the allegations of maltreatment negate the DSS standard operation procedure on the implementation of right of a suspect. Kano, according to Ifunaya, enjoy full luxury in the holding facility incomparable to any of its type anywhere in the country. He added that the IPOB leader has lawyers been accorded full rights and privileges, stressing that he was never denied his right of worship or freedom from his select religious practice. The DSS spokesperson stated that adequate attention was paid to Kano's health with the unhindered access to the best medical care and doctors, saying that the suspect also confirmed to his visitor that the service has never maltreated him. According to him, Kano confirmed its position to Senator Ike Ekweremadu, Senator Eyinnaya Abaribe, Bishop Sunday Onoha of Church Methodist Church, Nigeria, as well as the Methodist Church of Nigeria, as well as the Secretary General of Ohaneze Ndigbo, Ambassador Ikechukwu Emuche, Emuche, who visited him on Wednesday last week. If Naya also described the claim of Kanu being staffed as untrue, saying he has always been staffed with the meals of his choice and regularly allowed change of clothing. Regularly allowed change of clothing, but you came to court all this while with one pair of clothes, but you've been regularly allowing him change of clothes. When they speak, make sure you listen to all. You will find them incriminating themselves. I will read that part again. Ifunanya also described the claim of Kanu being served as untrue, saying he has always been served with the meal of his choice and regularly allowed change of clothing. He was reacting to the suit instituted by Kanu against the DSS and the Minister of Justice and Attorney General of the Federation, Abubakar Malami, over the alleged denial of his fundamental right. Okay, if these things were as she is making the claim, do you think that Mazen Namdekano and his lawyers will file a suit against these people and go to the same people to tell. You see, most of all these politicians you see, they are just green snake in a green grass. Those who these people claim they reported to them, those who went to visit him, apparently those who went to actually try to convince him to abandon his cause, because he refused to abandon his cause, he turned them down. That is the reason why they went to make a claim that Mazen Nnamdi Kanu told them that the whole he is getting a luxurious treatment in the DSS dungeon in Nigeria. In Nigeria, being Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, which they labeled as political criminal in Nigeria. You see, that is the same reason why when we talk about these politicians, religious leaders, all of them, traditional leaders, all of them, they can never ever change. These people are compromised. They will never ever do anything to promote the cause of a common man. It is all about them. It will always be about them. I continue. Press briefing by the Department of State Service DSS held at its national headquarters Abuja on Tuesday, 14th December 2021. Gentlemen of the press, I bring to you a warm compliment of the Director General State Service DGSS, Alhaji Yusuf Magaji Bichi, FWC. The importance of this press briefing is to partner with you to inform the public to be mindful of groups and individuals desirous of causing a breakdown of law and order in the country. This is more so that the service has observed that some persons who are desperately seeking power use wrong and skewed narrative to not only mislead citizens but overheat the polity. Already they are exploiting and politicizing the issue of insecurity in part of the country for for pecuniary and other selfish reasons. Many simply want to use the situation to cause division among citizens, seek cheap popularity, and or present the country as ungovernable. The service therefore wants that those who are involved in this should desist from such disabling or destabilizing acts. It also enjoins politicians to play by the rule and avoid statement and activity capable of inflaming the fire of division and violence prior to the 2023 election. Opinion molders like the clergy, religious and traditional rulers are also to guard their utterances and avoid inciting pronouncement in a related development. It is common knowledge that the criminal element will heighten their inglorious activities before, before, during, and after the festive period. Therefore, religious and community leaders, hoteliers, and operators of markets, parks, recreational and relaxation centers are to be alert and watch strange movement and activities around their facilities, such facilities include place of worship, places, markets, schools, and the public buildings. Owners and operators of these public spaces and their patrons should endeavor to isolate and report suspected rogues to security agencies for prompt response. Cons- Consequently, the service interactive website and complaint lines will remain active and available to public. Its formations at the state and local government will be open 24 hours a day. This in line with the service commitment and support to populace as schools vacate and the students return home for holiday. Okay, blah blah blah. This there is still a lot to read actually. You see the security alarm, the security information that was released. This happened, this article was written on the 14th of December. On the 12th of December, there is security information that went around the social media that they are planning to bomb certain places around within Nigeria. That they are placing explosives. And the military are placing explosives in some certain places in Nigeria. That is exactly one of the reasons why they come in their press briefing to, you know, to take themselves, the government, away from this information that is being given by this security information, from this security information that was passed through across the social media. They actually want to make you believe that there are elements of criminals who are causing all these things, elements of criminal placing explosives in the marketplace, in the road, in communities. Is it elements of criminals? What are they going to gain, those elements of normal criminals, from placing explosives in places other than terrorist attack? What will they stand to benefit or to achieve if it is a common criminal act because of festive period? Because when they are talking, you listen attentively. Make sure you listen to them attentively. You will understand that they are going to paint things to be very, very something that is very, very scary. They make it to be in the eyes of the world, it is just nothing. 20 people died, they will say, oh no, it is just nothing. It is just half person died. If it is possible, they will tell you half persons died. Brown envelope passed through the media houses and the investigative journalist or investigating journalist, rather, that is on the field. They will pass brown envelope to them. Case closed. That is what they do. Like they have told you that they are giving Mazen Namdekano a luxurious life. You see his situation. Actually, when you saw him in the court, you saw his situation. You saw his body language. You saw his body structure. You will definitely know that this man is going through a lot, going through hell. So if you look at Mazen Namdekano, knowing him fully well, and you look at him when he appears in Nigeria court, will you tell me that the DSS is looking after him? Meanwhile, the reason why they did not present him to court all this while was his condition was worse. His condition was worse. That's why they did not want anybody to see him, because they have stabbed him, they have maltreated him. Maybe they were waiting for some wounds they have him. giving him to heal right from Kenya. Probably that is exactly the reason why they don't want anybody to see him. They don't want to, they tell you security, security, security. So they have solved the security. That's why they started showing him. They did that just to hide, to make sure that they deceive you, that he was not maltreated, he was not starved, he was not tortured, just for him to recover a bit so that he will be presentable at least, because they know that the whole world is watching. The result of that extraordinary rendition, tortured 8 days in Kenya first, that is also the achievement of our media warriors. Achievement of what we do, the exposition we do in the media. It is part of the achievement. So many people might believe that this media exposition is not hurting or is not working, is not doing its work. It is actually doing more than you can ever imagine. It is doing more than you can ever imagine that it might do. That is another the new the article of Jugumi. What Nigeria should do for bandits to drop their weapons. What Nigeria should do for bandits to drop their weapon. Are you paying attention? That is what Gumi said. Kaduna-based Islamic cleric Sheikh Ahmed Gumi has called for the provision of more social amenities to curb banditry in the country. Banditry have stepped up attacks in several parts of the country, killing people, kidnapping for ransom, and raping people. Gumi, who spoke in Abuja on Tuesday at retreat on inclusive security organized by the Global Peace Foundation in collaboration with the Vision Africa, said bandits initially started by kidnapping people before they resorted to killing their victim, while nothing that criminal activities cannot be justified. The cleric stated that every criminal has a justification for his crime. According to him, he said every criminal has a justification for his crime. According to him, bandits were out to avenge the killing of their family members by the military through airstrikes. Hey, are you paying attention? He said that bandits are avenging the killing of their family members by the military through airstrike. Let us just leave it there. They are avenging their people who were killed through airstrike by the Nigerian military. Bandits, how many military operatives have you killed? Except killing and the innocent people, raping women and children in their farms. Except raping cows. But they want to avenge the death of their people killed by military. They are not targeting those who killed their people through airstrike or airstrike. They are not targeting them. They are targeting the normal people in the north. They are targeting farmers in the south. They are targeting farmers in the west. They are targeting communities in the west, in the east, in the south, in middle belt. They are targeting communities. Gumi is doing all these things just to buy time for these bandits. To buy time. They are killing to avenge. Are you able to hear this terrorist he is actually not just, you know, terrorist spokesperson. He is supposed to be named the leaders of this terrorist. And that is the reason why I tell you this is religious war that is happening in Nigeria. It is a religious war. Believe it or not, you will understand by this comment that is a storm coming. Of Gumi, he is an Islamic cleric. If it is a Christianity, you call him a pastor or religious leader. He is protecting these people who claim that they are fighting infidels. He tells you that their agenda is to avenge the military kill the people. There are people who was killed by military through airstrike, but they don't kill military. They only go to ransack communities, kill farmers. They named it Farmer Headers Clash. But Gumi is telling you they are avenging the airstrike that killed the people by the military. Those are the things that you need to look at. You will understand that when America removed Nigeria from religious intimidation or whatever they named it, they did not conduct their investigation thoroughly. Or perhaps they collected a brown envelope. They collected a brown envelope. That is the reason why they removed Nigeria. Gumi is telling you, Islamic cleric, the reason why he still present himself, is like they tell you because these criminals are Christians. They found a Christian leader, to go and negotiate with them because these criminals that are killing people, taking away people from their community, taking over the community, sending people to IDP camps, that a religious leader will become their spokesperson, which is Christianity religious leader. Just like Gumi is becoming the other people's spokesperson. Are you picking up anything that there is religious war going on in Nigeria? Gumi, a cleric defending the Islamization, those people who call you an infidel, therefore you must be killed. And this land belonged to their ancestor. God gave it to them to promote their evil agenda. That is the reason why God gave it to them. To promote their evil agenda. That's what they say. God gave it to them. I wonder which God that gave it to them. That is the reason why you must separate yourself from these unbelievers. The only way you are going to separate yourself from these unbelievers is by going back to your root, whom you were before the amalgamation, whom you were before the invasion of Europeans. Then you are going to leave these people behind and you go and become whom you were. The Biafrans are not trying to force their religion on anybody. They are not trying to, impose anything on anybody. They just want to be on their own, to work for themselves, to show the world the glory of their hard work, because it is being suppressed all over the world, because you are not a free man. That is the reason why Biafra want to return home. And Biafra must return home. I don't know about you Oduduwas, but if you allow what that man who's there to save you is fighting for, Sunday Iboho, to die, it means you might actually allow your destiny to die. It is very, very important that when we want to do anything that will enable the Nigeria government to release these people that they are holding in custody, just because they are preaching equity, fairness, and justice in Nigeria, and they were labeled terrorists and incarcerated, and you believe that it is you won't it will now this government will listen to you. They will not listen to you. When you see that will there is a collaboration between Oduduwa and Biafra, when Mazen Nnamdi Kanu and the Boho were free men, that that collaboration, if it is still there, that collaboration need to start working. The collaboration need to start working. We are not talking about collaboration of that type of collaboration of Femi Fani-Kayode and his accomplices. We are not talking about that of Delo Momodu, who all of them they have gone quiet. Femi followed the enemy which he's been working for on the background. So all these things, as long if you know that you guys are really fighting for freedom, you guys need to come together. Fight. If it is a protest, you go on protest. Not that these people are protesting, the other ones are not protesting, but you are fighting for almost the same cause, or you are fighting for the same cause against one common enemy, and you cannot do things together to achieve one goal. You cannot use one stone to kill many birds. You Oduduwas and Biafrans, among others, that are joining. Because the more Nigeria is refusing to let the Biafran go, there will be many more, apart from Oduduwa. That is what you are going to be seeing in the contraption called Nigeria. If you do not let Biafrans go, so that they will go and show the world that they are blessed people. They are going to influence many more. And that is when you will see this revolution coming from all over the country, and you will lose that thing and everything that you are protecting, or you claim that's structure that you claim that you are protecting for Britain. You are going to lose them, because at some point the truth is going to prevail. Let me rush down before we call it a day to the report given by the legal counsel upon the visit of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. Let me go through it quickly. If you are here, share this video. Make sure that you alert others people to join. You alert others to join this gospel of freedom. You should share this video. Alert others to join this gospel of freedom. So this news also came on the 14th of December 2021. Mazen Nnamdi Kanu implored Biafrans to remain steadfast, peaceful, focused, and never to be distracted. Barrister Ejiofor. Our routine visit to our routine visit to our indefatigable client Onyendu Mazen Nnamdi Kanu was indeed a special one. The visit, which was exclusively conducted by my humble self alone, offered us a veritable opportunity to have a heart to heart talk without any form of distraction, intrusion from a third party. For the first time, for the first time, maybe they have seen it, that the suit that is being filed against them and against all these human rights violation, for the first time they allow them to have heart to heart talk without any form of distraction or intrusion from the third party. The conviviality was indeed deep, or was indeed deep. The conviviality, sorry, was indeed deep. Onyendu Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, I must sincerely confess, was in a very strong spirit yesterday. Our interaction were quite frank and positively heartwarming. We extensively discussed on proactive steps being explored by our legal team to ensure his unconditional release, his worries on those deliberately deviating from his divine preachings were highlighted and well noted. Onyandu was also briefing. Okay, let me pause it there a bit. Ensure his worries on those deliberately deviating from his divine preaching were highlighted and well noted. It was highlighted and well noted. Those deviating from his preaching were highlighted and well noted. Whichever those who are deviating from the preaching of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, I want you to understand that the preaching of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, I am going to give you where the preachings lies. The preachings of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. Number one preaching of the Mazen Nnamdi Kanu is the structure of IPOB. That is number one preaching of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, because he lamented about those who are deviating from the preaching of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. Number two preaching of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu is freedom for the people of indigenous people of Biafra. Number three preaching of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu is decolonizing you from mental slavery. And the way the people are deviating from this preaching of Biafra freedom. There is one thing that I have said, and I am saying it again. Those who are pointing fingers at people saying they are the ones who are the problem in IPOB without any evidence. And another thing is that those who are living the structure called IPOB one family, and they are talking about this Idu kingdom. I have never heard Mazen Namdekano talk about Idu kingdom. And when those who are going to be preaching about Idu kingdom, I know that Idu kingdom and Umweri, all those things, I know a bit history about them, the Igbo land, the migrations, and all that. The origin, the father of Igbo, the founding fathers of Igbo land. So, and that one is a history. It is a history. I haven't heard Mazen Namdekano live addressing the indigenous people of Biafra as Biafra, but you do kingdom. I have never heard that. So it is part of deviating from the Mazen Namdekano's preaching. It is part of deviating from Mazen Namdekano preaching. It is true. It is true that people are making a lot of, you know, claim against one another in this IPOB struggle. Many claims: who is better, who is good, who is real, who is not real. You know, that some people are just using it to sell on social media. Because if you check amongst many people who are on the social media fighting for Biafra, a lot of them are doing it for their own selfish benefit. You know, a lot of them are doing it for their own selfish benefit. And a lot of them are doing it because of what they are benefiting from the struggle. They are not genuinely doing it for Mazen Namdekano. Some people who were genuinely doing it for Mazen Namdekano, from they started good, but they are about to end very, very negatively. Some of them, it could be because you are looking at your followers. You are not looking at your message anymore. You are looking at your followers. You believe that this is what built my followers. And you are preaching that without knowing that you are deviating from the path which Mazen Namdekano laid, the preaching of Mazen Namdekano, without knowing that you are changing the principle laid by Mazen Namdekano. And some of you believe that the leadership of IPOB is compromised in full force because you get carried away so quick. You do not ask a lot of questions. The people of indigenous people of Biafra, I believe it is high time that you are not supposed to be like a wind. If they push you this side, you move towards that side. If they push you that side, you move towards that side. It is high time you need to start asking more questions. You need to start asking more questions. If you ask more questions, you will understand more. Not because you see, yes, these people, They are talking it. A lot of people are here. Let me be here. No, it is not how it is. This is freedom fighting, and this is serious business. If you want to be in this business, you must mean this business. You must be devoted for this business. You must pay a sacrifice for this business. You cannot just be in this business just because it's putting a lot of money in your pocket. You'll be in this business arrogantly. No. Or you cannot continue to preach something that is not in line with this struggle, but because you believe it is giving you a lead, you keep talking about it because so many people, they only want to hear what they want to hear. Regardless of whether that thing exists, regardless of if it doesn't exist, you just want to hear it. Where you are hearing this, I go there. That is the reason why the religious leaders saw your gullibility. They are exploiting you. And you keep making the same mistake. You call yourself, you follow Mazen Namdekano for so many years, for decades, but you are not able to differentiate when you imaranya nenene mankaro lalo. You don't know it. You cannot differentiate good from evil. You cannot understand exactly what is going on. Just because you believe everybody is saying this person is a criminal. Let me join them. He is a criminal. And the most important thing you must understand is that the DOS are under command and control. That is one thing you should understand. They are under command and control. They are under command and control. And that command and control is exactly the reason why they are not doing what you want them to do. That is the reason why they are not doing what you want them to do. They are following the principle and what they are structured for. I know that so many of them, so many of its members are corrupt, or some of its members are corrupt. They are. But soldier go, soldier come. Barracks is still there. You must understand DOS is IPOB structure. Even if you don't wanna, you know, you don't like their philosophy right now, you should stop this criticism against DOS. What you feel that you are doing, if you feel that is helping, keep doing it. At the end of every race, you check the miles. You look back and see, where did I start? Where am I going? Where am I right now? That is the most important question. You guys like things that glitters a lot. People of Nigeria, people of Biafra, some of you are still gullible to the core that you like only things that glitters. That is the reason why blindly, when they tell you that Canon Takano, Mazen Namdekano's brother, sold Mazen Namdekano with no evidence. I'm not saying that he cannot do such. I am not saying, because I know that our people like money a lot. Igbo people like money a lot. But with no evidence. That is an insult to Kano's family. A very big insult to Kano's family, and yet you say you Namde Kano is another savior. You must listen to yourself. Ask yourself a question. If Kano Takano sold Mazen Namde Kano, is there anything he is doing to make Biafra not to come? Is there anything he is doing right now to make Mazen Namde Kano not to come out? He cannot. He does not have the power. Allow Mazen Namde Kano to come out to tell you his brother sold him, since there is no evidence to back it up. Because the same person who brought out this information is the same person who brought out Idu Kingdom. And this Idu Kingdom, I have never heard Mazen Namde Kano mention it. In the last, let me not actually lie, in the last 3 years, I was following Mazen Namde Kano, but the last 3 years, I started paying very close attention to him. You know what is very close attention to him? I was listening to his broadcast. In the last 3 years, I started paying very, very close attention to him. There is a difference between, because I don't have a reason to lie to you, whether you call me a COVID Biafra media warrior or COVID Biafra influencer, I don't care. But I started connecting with Mazen Namde Kano 3 years ago. 3 years ago, I have been listening to his broadcast. I was not connecting. I've been following him, but there is a difference between following someone and paying attention to that person or connected to that person. I started connecting. All of a sudden, boom, he was arrested. So, I have never heard him talk about Idu Kingdom, this kingdom. We know that we are under one umbrella called Biafrans. The whole of our people, both in the south coastal region, both in Igbo land, those whom you call the Igbos, forgetting that you were Igbo, the dialect they changed. That is the reason why you speak in tongues. Those that you call the East, there is nothing makes you different. All these people migrated or originated from Eri. From Eri. All of them migrated from Eri, the same father. The son of Joseph. Sorry, the son of Jacob. They migrated from that Eri. I that one, I am very sure of that. Even before they scrap fully the history of our people in the curriculum, I was one of the people who are lucky enough to grasp or to grab that history. I grabbed that history when I was very young. That's why when things started going south, I began to research. I began to collect books. I began to collect Bibles. I began to collect a lot of things so that I will back up every claim that I'm making. So that's we know that every Biafrans originated from Eri. 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 They call it Eri of Omonre. Those days, they say according to the myth and legend, because when they teach you your history, they call it myth and legend. When they teach you the handed history, the divide, rule, and conquer history, they will tell you it's a fact. So we know very well that this Eri and the Umueri kingdom is the origin of Biafrans. Origin. It reflected even in the Bible. Read Genesis 46, verse 16. You will see the sons of God. The sons of God. So you will also understand the reason why we are called the Lion of tribe of Judah. So we know, but the name that we know that we are under this umbrella, fighting for what we are fighting until otherwise, is Biafra. So when Mazen Nnamdi Kanu never mentioned this, he's incarcerated, you start mentioning it, you start championing it, you will stop using the name that Ojukwu used, the name that Mazen Nnamdi Kanu went through, following the footsteps of Ojukwu and more, and you are changing it. It does not make sense. You are deviating from the message of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. For those of you who are using the Biafran struggle just to make yourself comfortable, believing that it is all about the money, it's gonna make the world change. It is not all about the money. We say what we are doing is more spiritual than physical. There are so many of you who's been good. You started good, but you are about to end very bad. And a lot of people might be disappointed. I don't join a crowd to move. I join when my spirit tells me to go, I go. I don't join a crowd. I assess you. I assess you and I follow you. I assess you and I stop following you. We need to know that what we are doing here is not a child play. What we are doing here, you know, there is no amount of money that is worth making you to deviate from what we are doing here. There is no amount of money that will be able to give you your freedom. If you are in Europe, if you are in Africa, if you are anywhere, you are in Nigeria, you believe that this money that you are getting using the name of Biafra is going to solve your problem of captivity, you must be bluffing yourself. You must be bluffing yourself. In the eyes of a prominent or white people that matters, you are a fucking black man. In the eyes of white people that matters. No matter, regardless of your position, regardless of where you found yourself, regardless of how comfortable you believe you found yourself, you are still a black flipping man. The way they see that Aboki is the way they will see you. Still, it make no difference. Because as far as your skin is black, you are one mental slave one mental slaved idiot. That's how it is. When you believe to expect better because you believe that you have placed yourself in a better position. A white man called me or his excellency, sir. A white man carried my bag. I am flying. A white man is my driver. You are bragging. Hell no, that is mental slaving. Why wouldn't a white man do it for you? You believe is a crime. That's why you celebrate it. You believe you have arrived. Mental slavery. Because a white man call you his excellency, sir. Because that is all these unexposed call themselves presidents, governors. That's the only thing you want. When you come to Germany, UK, America, a white man will call you his excellency, sir. And your head will become like this. When you come home, when a common man tell you that the road is messed up, infrastructure is not built, you want to actually bury them alive. Me, that a white man carried his bag, called me his excellency, sir, knows my worth. Why this riffraff cannot know my worth? That is mental slavery. You need to decolonize. So no matter how much position you use this opportunity to acquire, or fame you use this opportunity to acquire right now, it will not last. You know, when you lose that fame, you have built enemy. That is what I'm trying to say. Speak to yourselves and make a good decision. Speak to yourselves and make a good decision. Those in the DSS or DOS, rather, if you see opinion that will help the struggle to promote the struggle, you should actually embrace it and preach it. There are some general terms, there are some things you will do because you are not only trying to influence the Biafrans, you are also trying to influence, give freedom to captives in Nigeria as a whole. It is not only the Biafrans. That is the reason why I talk about revolution. If you want to help these people, not only your people, knowing that they are actually as black people like you, the one Mazen Namdekano preach it. He preached it in a way that the people in the north will decolonize, but because they do not have access to media, they don't hear the message. The people in the west decolonize, the people in the south decolonize, east, south, so called. He does not exclude anybody from his preaching. He's actually telling Fulanese to decolonize as well and stop being used like animals. That's why his preaching goes. If you find any opinion that is supposed to make these people wake up and understand what you are fighting for, you should actually support it, promote it, make it a general opinion, general view, general suggestion. Let people, because maybe they listen to you, you might see it yielding fruit towards our struggle. That is the reason why in a countries where there is democracy, where they are able to have a sustainable democracy, because democracy is very, very expensive. You cannot afford it if you are not in control of your resources. That is the reason why they are affording it, because they are in control of their resources and more. and more. These people you call your leaders and elites, they are just all about their pockets. Anybody you see call themselves that are politicians, you should, those are the people you say, if you eating with the devil, use a long fork, long one, not just spoon, fork, so that grab and run away. You know, you don't need to give any chance to a politician because they are going to swing at any time. They are going to turn around at any time. They are politicians. So, my people, if you are going to do what Mazen Namdekano was doing, if you believe that you are following Mazen Namdekano, you must make sure that you are following him with all your heart. You are following him to emancipate our people from this suffering, from this slavery that we found ourselves into. You must do it in truth and in spirit. Make sure you share this video and make others to join. If you are following him, follow him in truth and in spirit. Make the world know that you are following him, not because of what you are going to use his name to acquire, not because of what you are going to use following him to acquire, but you are following him to help your people. Maybe you are sorted financially, maybe you are sorted otherwise in any way, according to you, actually. According to you, you are sorted, but you do not enslave our people the more. You do not enslave our people the more by telling them what they want to hear just to keep them. Time wasted. Time you waste, you know, because we were not conscious. I give this example again. The religious leaders exploited us. We do not ask questions. We follow the moving train. Follow the moving train without understanding, looking back. Like I said, truth does not have a voice. Truth does not have a voice. But a lie has every garnishing things that will make you to believe in it. Be sensitive, the people of Biafra. Be sensitive. And stop deviating from the preaching of Mazen Namdekano, just like he lamented. Just like he lamented. Here, his worries on those deliberately deviating from his divine preaching were highlighted and well noted. Onyendu was also briefed on relevant legal remedies being resorted to command immediately being resorted to command immediate and total obedience to court pronouncement, particularly where the directive of the court is ostensibly availing in the prevailing circumstances. We have complied with all steps directed by the court in the likely event that the lawless DSS breach its order. We may not delve into the details now, but be assured that the detaining authority is fully aware of these steps and obviously being cautious. And being cautious slash circumspect of their action and inaction henceforth. Onyendu Mazen Nnamdi Kanu was deeply impressed with the peaceful conduct and unrelentless solidarity of his real followers. Unrelentless solidarity of his, there is something you need to know of his real followers. I am going to make it a bit clear for you there. Let me tell you, you should understand the solidarity that he is talking about. You know, even when Sit at Home was cancelled, there are people who took it upon themselves because they know that Mazen Nnamdi Kanu is losing something. It is not because they were influenced to sit at home by us or because they were, being policed to sit at home. But they notice that Mazen Nnamdi Kanu is losing something being in that DSS dungeon. His wife is there, his children is there, they are not with him. He is incarcerated. They are able to sacrifice that. That is those genuinely in solidarity, not those who believe they are forced to do so. Not those, not of those, not what he is talking about. That is the reason why he said, not that is the reason why he said that deeply impressed with the peaceful conduct and unrelentless solidarity of his real followers. Real followers. Ezigbo Umu Chineke. He implored them to continue to remain steadfast, peaceful, focused, and never to be distracted. Onyendu Mazen Nnamdi Kanu is visibly firm in his conviction and only worried over those he predicted long ago that would disappoint him and not other way round. Are you paying attention? And not other way round. Mazen Nnamdi Kanu is not talking about DOS, his structure. He is not talking that the DOS have. He is sending a message. Mazen Nnamdi Kanu is sending a message here. It is only those who are able to comprehend this message will be able to know it. If you are not able to comprehend this message, you will still be wallowing on your ignorance. And this message is for few people to comprehend because it is a message, a truthful message that I'm decoding to you. He said, Ezigbo Muchineke, he implored them to continue to remain steadfast, peaceful, focused, and never to be distracted Onyendu Mazen Nnamdi Kanu is visibly firm in his conviction and only worried over those he predicted long ago that would disappoint him and not the other way round. Not the other way round. The ones that you are believing that they are the problem. Just like those who mentioned Canon Takan, those who say the structure of DOS is destabilized or is compromised. For those of you, for your own information, I am not preaching for DOS. I am preaching the truth. Nothing but the truth. I am not standing or preaching for any individual. I am telling you nothing but the truth. Take it or leave it. It is up to you. It is up to you. Because I will say it is up to you to take it. From the inception, I said, if I discover anything, I will tell you the truth the way it is. It might not be what you want to hear, but I am speaking it to you the way it is. So I continue. Those he predicted long ago that will disappoint him and not the other way round. Not the other way round. Not your expectation, not what you expected, or not what you are thinking. Not exactly what you are thinking. Those and not the other way round. So, atụọla ọmara ọmarụ, atụọla ofeke ofenye isi n'ọfịa. It is very, very important I tell you like this. Because many of you have very, very small sense of reasoning. You might start all this your stupid argument, fighting in social media, but we must continue. Oyandu Mazen Nnamdi Kanu's present incarceration in the lawless DSS dungeon offered him opportunity to identify the chaff discreetly mixed with the wheat long before now. It is an interesting lesson that is preparing him for the greater task ahead. He is fully aware that his freedom is near and will happen like a miracle. On our path, we have crossed all the T's and dotted all the I's. Onyendu's best compliment remains with his true and ardent followers. I struggled to conduct this visit yesterday, even when the medical situation said otherwise, but I shall always be there for Onyendu, no matter the circumstance I found myself. Your prayer are truly impacting. I am doing better this morning. I shall keep you informed of. Okay, let me read it from here. But I shall always be there for Onyendu no matter the circumstances. And I believe him. I believe him. He is not lying. He is not. He is a man. He is not lying. I'm talking about the writer of this, Barrister Ifeanyi Ejiofor. You know, he is not. So, I am going to bring this program to an end. Share the video and make sure you get this information to someone that is dear to you or that you love, because it is important to them, so that you will not stand to regret I betrayed Mazen Nnamdi Kanu just because of my ignorance. I will leave it here. Those who have ears, let them hear. Those who does not have ears, Let them continue wallowing in their ignorance. Let them continue following the moving train. At the end of this race, we are going to see our end games. And at the end of this race, Biafra will come. That is my confidence. And that is the reason why I must remain resolute. Just like I will advise you to remain resolute, I must remain consistent. The time I told you I am in the middle, it simply means I am investigating from the background, gathering some prima facies, making sure that I know what is going on. And that is the reason why I am giving you all these instances and all this response. I believe you chose the path of the truth, and make sure you remain formidable, resolute, and do not derail from the preaching of Mazen Namdekano just because you see a moving train. I will leave it here. Stay safe and stay informed.